Hi guys, so Lord Frost the Brexit Minister appeared at the strangely named European Scrutiny Committee in the House of Commons on Monday, where he took questions for about an hour from Brexiteers. Now, Frost must share some DNA with Michael Gove, as they both have a way with words. They're very good at providing language that's difficult to pin down. Frost was asked about the role of the European Court of Justice, which has recently been raised as an issue with him and his government as being a problem when it comes to implementing the Northern Ireland Protocol. Just a note, businesses in Northern Ireland which have been operating under the protocol post-Brexit have never raised the ECJ as a problem for them. This is just another lame attempt by Brexiteers to throw a problem at the wall and hope it sticks. But let's hear what Frost had to say about the ECJ.
Thank you, Chairman. I wonder if I could just press Lord Frost slightly on one of the answers he gave you. And you'll be aware, Lord Frost, that there was a report in the Times last week suggesting that the government might be softening its position on the role of the European Court of Justice by allowing it some sort of vestigial interpretive role. The following day, there was an article in the Telegraph which said that that was effectively a load of nonsense. Was it a load of nonsense?
Now, before he responds, this is a typical Tory tactic. Put out feelers, test the water, see how the public react, see how Brexiteers react, see how the media reacts. So what's likely what happened was someone within Whitehall, someone within Number 10, leaked information to the media about the possibility of Frost or the government softening its position on the ECJ to see what the reaction would be. And the reaction probably was quite negative from Brexiteers. So the next day, deny what happened. Deny all softening. Say, no, we're going to be tough with the European Union. We're going to be tough on this issue.
So there's all kinds of speculation around our position, and there has been for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, we've tried to make it clear, and the position in the command paper is authoritative, that we can't have the Court of Justice settling disputes between us.
Now, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but he used the word here, can't, not won't. So we won't have the Court of Justice, the European Court of Justice, settling disputes. Because when he says can't, I get the impression that it's a problem. It's not impossible, but it's a problem. While won't would be a stronger position to take, to say that's not going to happen. But if he says won't, then he can't defend that position later on. If he says can't, then he says, it was a problem for us, but we found a way around it.
In this protocol in future. And as I said, we're not interested in the court sort of by another name or by another route. It must be, I think the principle, probably most important principle, is that it's one of equality. That's what we put into the TCA. Two equal sovereign entities with an equal arbitration mechanism that settles disputes fairly between the two parties. And that seems to us the best way forward in this case as well.
But why did you sign up to it? I'm sorry, we have to go back to this position. Why do you have a problem with the ECJ now? Yes, there were issues with the ECJ. The Brexiteers raised issues, and Frost and Boris Johnson raised issues with the ECJ regarding the ECJ back during the negotiations. But at the end of the day, they signed the agreement. Now they're coming back and saying, yes, we have a problem with the ECJ, months after the end of the transition period.
No role whatever for the European Court of Justice.
So no role for the court as the final arbiter of disputes, as the summit of the system that imposes EU law. No role for the direct settlement of disputes between us, yeah.
Now, I just want to go over what he said here. Now, he said, no role for the court as the final arbiter of disputes, as the summit of the system that imposes EU law. No role for the direct settlement of disputes between us. Now, I'm trying to analyze what he means by this, because the European Court of Justice is only concerned with EU law. So if there's a dispute that takes place between the UK and the EU that does not involve EU law, then it's not the concern of the European Court of Justice. So there's no point saying the European Court of Justice is going to rule on something if it's not related to EU law. Now he said, just let me quote him once again, "No rule for the court as the final arbiter of disputes as the summit of the system that imposes EU law." Now what the heck does he mean by that? The summit of the system. Why didn't he just say as the arbiter that imposes EU law? But he included something like the summit of the system. I really don't understand. And I think what he's doing here is adding language to create confusion. He's adding language in order to allow him later on to deny, I didn't agree to this, or I didn't say X, I said Y, or I never said Y, I said X. And I think this is, once again, acting a bit like Michael Gove, where Michael Gove would say to you something like, yeah, I'll come over and help you move house. When will you do it? I'll come over soon. And, soon could mean tomorrow, it could mean next week, it could mean next year, depending on his point of view. And I think what Frost does as well is he intentionally is opaque in order to cover his arse later on. But maybe I'm reading too much into this. Do you think he means what he says when he says that the European Court of Justice will not be the final arbiter? And what is he talking about? Let me know in the comments. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.